Charlie Kenny, and today I'm going to be showcasing the range of sounds achievable with this, the Mapex Black Panther Design Lab Versatus system kit. At the same time, I'm going to be giving you a library of sounds that you can recreate at home. Now, the good news for any Mapex users out there is that whether you use a Storm, through to a Saturn, or even one of these, you can recreate these sounds at home as long as you have a kit with the same size shells. It's worth mentioning the intervals we can adopt between the top and bottom head to achieve a note, and there are three that I use regularly. The first is to tune each head to the same note. Using this technique, the drum will resonate for a long time, but the big downfall is that as soon as one head goes out of tune, it sounds terrible. Now, the second and third techniques involve tuning the bottom head above the top one. The fundamental note in these techniques will be that of the bottom head, and it will pitch slightly through the decay down to the top head. Now, with the second option, we tune the bottom head a minor third above the top one, and with the third, we tune a major third above the top one. Both achieve the same effect, which is a dive bombing sound. It's a real fat that pitches down slightly. So, with these methods, the drum resonates, its fundamental note will be around the note that the bottom head is tuned to. What I like about this is you get a longer period of time between tunings where you don't have to really touch the drum. It will still sound good. It may drop slightly, but you'll still get a good sound out of the drum. Now, for these tuning guides, I've opted to tune each tom to a major third interval between the bottom and top head. But for those of you who want to test out the other techniques, it's relatively simple. Just leave the note of the bottom head the same and adjust the note of the top head to achieve the desired interval. Now, before we start, I'm going to show you how to seat a skin and find an appropriate bass point from which to tune. So let's have a look at this 12-inch high tom. Now, at this point, the skin is totally loose on the drum. And what we want to do to start ourselves off is to get opposite lugs at a time to finger tight. Now, at this start point, the head is even on the drum, so it's not slanted one way or the other, and our aim is to keep it this way. So what I'm going to do, again working opposite lugs at a time, I'm going to go 1/8 of a turn at a time around each drum, working opposite lugs until I hit a clean note. It's not in tune, but a note. See, that's not hitting a note really yet, so I'm going to go a little bit higher, maybe just under 1/8 this time. And there we go. We should start hearing a note out of this drum. Now, what we want to do here to make sure the skin is properly seated, and perfect, I can see some straight away, particularly around here. As I press down, there's wrinkles in this skin. Now that means that it's not tensioned evenly around the head. So all we need to do to get this skin seated is to get these wrinkles out. So let's do it. Here we go. There's a little bit here, a little bit there. There we go. Still a tiny bit here. Let's get rid of that. A little bit there. There we go. Now there's no wrinkles in that head now. So in theory, we're holding a note and the skin is even on the drum. Let's see how it sounds now. Now I've tuned the bottom head higher than the top head because eventually, obviously, we'll have a major third interval between the two. But by doing this and just simply getting the wrinkles out of the skin, we should be able to achieve, whilst not in tune, a relatively decent sound out of the drum. Now, before we go to our tuning examples, it's important to mention that you need to stretch your heads in really thoroughly. Now, don't be afraid here, so really dig in. Make sure you can hear that skin cracking around the edges and bedding in. It'll mean that your kit stays in tune longer and it won't do all the stretching as you're playing, which is the last thing we want. And finally, take it slow and be methodical. Worst comes to worst, you can always go back to your start point at finger tight and go again. And if you take it slow, it's generally going to be easier than it looks. I'm Charlie Kenny. This has been my take on how I like to tune drums, but there is no right and wrong here, so experiment to find your sound. I hope you've enjoyed the video.